Looking for these better days.
It is Friday, February 20th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. The NBA returning from its All-Star break, the United States women capturing gold, and the Olympic men's ice hockey tournament resumes this morning. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Mac, a busy slate of NBA games last night, including some tough beats for us up on betterday.com. Let's start with some of the games that stood out to you. The Pistons handling the Knicks 126-111, and I think firmly solidifying themselves as just head and shoulders right now above New York.
Yeah, they've been the better team this year, and now I think it's official. They are the better team. No Jalen Duran. I always say that wrong. Duran, the center for the Pistons.
Duran.
Duran, yeah, there you go. And here's where NBA handicappers and analysts get too nerdy. He's a very important player. He's a deserved all-star. He's made a tremendous leap in just a couple years in the league. He doesn't really matter that much to the line. He's worth about a point, maybe, generously. You know, he's a top 100 player, definitely, but a top 20 player, very few players move the needle like Cade Cunningham does. So he needed to step up, needed to be the best player in the game, and he was. Much better than Jalen Brunson. 40 burger for Cunningham. And for someone that I didn't have in the top 20, I feel starting the season, feels ridiculous now. He's clearly a top 10 player.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you look at FanDuel right now, he is the third favorite to be the MVP. And obviously the odds are not even close compared to SGA and Nikola Jokic, right? But actually it did creep down after the 42-point performance last night. Cade Cunningham up on FanDuel plus 700 as the third favorite. You could have gotten double digits on that prior to the All-Star break. So
you know why that might not be the worst bet? Because
Jokic misses one more game.
Jokic misses one more game.
Two more.
SGA not back after the All-Star game, reevaluated after the All-Star break. So who knows if he'll miss another week or two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who else would it be? Always or almost always, Russell Westbrook, year not included, goes to a top seed or a top 2 seed. So it would be Cunningham if it wasn't for if the other ones are disqualified.
Well, at 50-1 odds right now up on FanDuel, Jaylen Brown could be an interesting candidate. Now
that'd be so funny. He wins the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and people are like, but is he the best player on the team? He wins the Finals MVP. It's like, he didn't really even play the best in that series. Then he'd win the MVP as their best player comes back for the playoffs. That'd be just perfect.
Yeah, so we faded Jaylen Brown last night. It was his first game playing while fasting for Ramadan, and maybe actually fasting helped him. Although
I was thinking about this, it was a later start time. That should have been part of the cap, because he probably had like the best meal of his life. You know, first day after fasting.
Well, then you thought maybe he'd be sluggish to start, but
true. Tryptophan.
Well, we did get a little This was a bad beat. I'm not complaining about a loss, but like we had this win. So for those who didn't watch the game and just looked at the box score last night and see that Jaylen Brown finished with 23 points, 15 rebounds, and 13 assists, a triple-double in Boston's 121-110 win over the Warriors. By the way, in our newsletter yesterday, we did also give out Jaylen Brown under his points, and that cashed. Now, if I would have just been smart and played Jaylen Brown under his points, Mackenzie, 28.5, that would have cashed. But I thought, hey, let's take advantage of the sports book's tax, right? And let's go with the under points and rebounds, because his rebound prop was like 6 or 5.5, and the fair price should have been 34.5. But the sports books were listing it at 35.5. And that's the tax that you always get, because the sports books know that fans always love to play the overs, right? So we talked about this in the NFL when we used to do the rushing and passing yards over for a quarterback, under, where you'd get the benefit of like a couple of extra yards by playing the under if you did the combo, right? Just taking advantage of the sportsbook tax. So actually, Jaylen Brown went under his points prop last night, and that should have been the bet. And I'm sorry that I didn't make that the bet, but if you read the newsletter and you listened to Mackenzie on the pod, then maybe you cashed with the Jaylen Brown points. Dude had 15 rebounds last night, and a lot of it because just the Golden State Warriors kept chucking up threes and missing them, right? But this was a win. Like, yeah, they shot 55 3-pointers last night, the Warriors. But this was a win, Mackenzie. The Celtics were up 30 points going into the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown was under his points plus rebounds and did not start the fourth quarter. None of the Celtics starters were in the fourth quarter, but then the Warriors outscored the Celtics 26-9. And with 6 minutes left, the starters checked back in. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, they checked back in for the Celtics, and Jaylen Brown wound up getting a couple of more rebounds, another basket, and Boston holds on to win 121-110, despite being outscored 37-19 in the fourth quarter.
One of the reasons we bet unders and why unders are 53% across the board or whatever it is in the NBA is because you have several outs. So even in this circumstance where he was tracking over is one of those outs when you bet a prop under as a favorite is you're hoping to get that that sitting fourth quarter. Could have happened. It was all lined up for us.
You know what's crazy is I had somebody tweet at me, and I want to give him credit because this dude actually did some research and looked up some stuff, and I should have listened to him. He looked at Rich Young on Twitter, who tweeted at me last night, and he said he wanted to look at all the players playing in Ramadan. And so he looked at their first 3 games in the first 5 or so days of the holiday. And this was his tweet to me, Mackenzie. Quote, seeing a rebounding spike being a consistent phenomenon among interior players during the transitional phase, the first 3 days of Ramadan. He said, needed to look at players traveling from Eastern to Pacific during the first 3 days. Perhaps it adds time to their fast. Jaylen at Golden State Warriors, blah, blah, blah. Dude, the rebounding spike, I mean, Jaylen Brown's not really, is he an interior player? I mean, not really, but like, dude, 15 rebounds last night. That's a rebounding spike. Is there something to this? Fasting makes you get more rebounds?
I could see it. I could see the argument. Let me lay out as I see it. And, sometimes you just see the stats and they're just noise. But yeah. I could actually see it because, all right, so I'm Jaylen Brown. For the first time in 11 months or whatever, I'm going to have a fasting day. So no water even, no food, keep myself occupied, whatever. And then it's game time. I get my banana. I get my peanut butter. I'm ready to go, but I'm completely out of sorts. So my scoring, my shooting, the rhythm aspects of my game are off, but the hustle's there, baby. Like I'm ready. I'm doing this for, my family, I whatever it is to meditate or to fast, as far as self-reflection, I don't know. Maybe it gives them some motivation. So I could see it.
Well, actually, I'm going to counter that because I think the fatigue played into this. Because I think he wasn't at the top of the key guarding the player with the ball, right? Mm-hmm. What he was doing...
He just did the LeBron rebound, just drifted into the paint.
That's exactly
grab what another one. Triple-double, baby.
Mackenzie, all 15 rebounds that he had last night were defensive rebounds.
Okay, yeah, those are trash rebounds. When someone has 15 rebounds and they're defensive rebounds,
he literally... Some trash rebounds. And I was watching in the fourth quarter when he cashed with those the rebounds that put him over his PNR. He was literally just standing under the basket while the Golden State Warriors were chucking up threes, and he was catching the rebound.
We shouldn't even count defensive rebounds in the box score. They're that less important than offensive rebounds. You're not helping your team win the game if you get a bunch of defensive rebounds because 80% of the rebounds you should get. You're just the guy that got it. You're just the guy that got the mail. You didn't go out and scavenge and get food for the tribe.
Now, I feel better about this loss right now because I feel like my handicap was correct on his fatigue and his effort level and this was just a bad bet by me. I should have just bet the points under. I made a mistake. The Golden State Warriors, Mackenzie, were 43 of 96 from the field yesterday. All right. I mentioned the 3-pointers. They were 20 of 55 from 3-point range. Let me read you the defensive rebound numbers for the Boston Celtics. Sam Hauser had 2. Keta, however you pronounce it, had 5. Derek White had 2. Bailey Shireman had 3. Vucevic had 2. Peyton Pritchard had 6. Walsh had 2. Ron Harper Jr. had 1. Hugo Gonzalez had 3. And Jaylen Brown had 15. Why? Why? Like, what does that tell me? It tells me that all the other players were running around chasing their men playing defense, and one player, Jaylen Brown, was just like chilling in the key, waiting for the balls to just fly off the rim.
It's not that a defensive rebound is a negative stat. It just, Sam Hauser could have gotten 9 rebounds. It wouldn't have been a different game. So yeah, there's one guy that said, hey, like Carlos Boozer used to do, got it, move Joe, whatever he would scream out all the time on the Chicago broadcast, but it doesn't really move the needle. I don't know. Maybe does the Ramadan thing play into it? They're like, hey, this guy is going to be a really good story. We're going to make some news clips. Triple-double on a fast. Well, what is he, Akeem Olajuwon?
Yeah,
fake triple-double.
He was 10 of 18 from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point range, and he finished with 23 points. Again, that's just a bad read by me. The points prop under should have been the play. If you read the newsletter yesterday and you tailed that, congratulations, you got yourself a cash. If you tailed me with the points plus rebounds, you got yourself a loss. So that's on me. Elsewhere last night, the Rockets with a 105-101 win over the Hornets. They win. They don't cover 4.5, but they win by 4. Kevin Durant finished with 35 points. Cavs a 112-84 rout over the Nets. And the reason why we didn't play the over in this one, Mackenzie, with the bad team against the non-bad team, was exactly what I said on the pod yesterday, where it was like, well, I just can see the Cavs just blowing out the Nets and the Nets not scoring any points. So the Nets just don't score enough for the game to go over. Literally 16 points in the first, 19 in the third, 17 in the fourth. This team is pathetic. Hawks beat the Sixers 117-107. Wizards 112-105 win over the Pacers in the Battle of the Bads. You had the Raptors a 110-101 win over the Bulls. Spurs rout the Suns 121-94. That was a free play winner given out up on betterday.com. Congratulations, Mackenzie, with the Spurs covering the 7.5 there. And then the Magic a 131-94 win over the Kings. We played the over 225.5. It landed 225.
Unbelievable. There was a timeout with 5 minutes left. I did the math. We need, 12 points? I forgot the math. I tried to block it out of my memory. But we needed a ridiculously low amount of points.
We needed 9 points.
Right. And, scrubs can play fast. They got a lot of shots up, but sometimes scrubs are too scrubby. But this game actually, even though it lost, fit the concept of the article on betterday.com about why we should bet overs in these certain matchups so well. So what do the Magic want to do in this game? What do the Kings want to do in this game? Magic want to win, making the playoffs. Paolo Banchero has got to do something eventually. He's not a rookie anymore. Kings, they want to lose. They benched not only DeMonte Sabonis, but also Zach LaVine benched. Sat him for the season with so-called injuries. They want to lose. So they get up in the game. And how do you lose? You play super fast. They scored 28 in the first, 27 in the second. But the Magic scored 46 in the second because the Kings didn't care about playing defense. They cared about getting a bunch of shots up. Their lead evaporated. And the game should have gone over. If you bet live, like I said on VSiN, hopefully somebody followed. If you bet live over immediately, as soon as the Kings got a lead, it would have made sense. And because the game did rally after that. Both teams wanted to play faster and give the Magic a chance to catch up.
Yeah, it was 28-18 Kings at the end of the first quarter. If at that moment you played the live over and you played the Magic, you had yourself a nice evening. And then if you just followed what we talked about with playing we're fading teams in the fourth quarter or whatnot, Mackenzie, the Kings scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, think about that. We lost this over by a half a point, and an NBA franchise. I don't care how bad they are. They're still all getting paid to play professional basketball. They scored 10 points in a 12-minute quarter.
Magic team total was the bet. It makes there's just so little incentive for the Kings to play basketball at this point. So we like to fade teams in this spot that are tanking, and we like to bet the over. So why not just bet Magic team total, combine the two bets? All right, we learned. Next time we'll get that one.
The Kings made 4 baskets in the fourth quarter.
One every 3 minutes.
I mean, that's the Magic made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. The Kings made 4 layups in the
That's
4
crazy.
total baskets. This is just it's so bad. It's so bad. And finally, last night, the Clippers, an outright win over the Nuggets. So good call out of you, Mackenzie. We played the plus 4.5 with the Clippers at home over the Nuggets. Benedict Mathurin, welcome to the Clippers, huh? Benedict
Yeah.
Mathurin scoring 39 points last night for the Clippers. What an effort there for Benedict Mathurin. 38 points, excuse me, off the bench as the Clippers win outright, as I mentioned, 115 to 112.
Yeah, Lawrence Frank said this is a guy that scored 29 points in a finals game and a win. Like, it's a real player. I think this is a rare trade where the Cavs are definitely better. And I'm not sure the Clippers are better, but they might be as good. And maybe in the playoffs they can be better. They didn't need what James Harden brought. They didn't really need what Zubac brought. Brook Lopez is a perfectly fine facsimile. Now I think 13-4 ATS when Brook Lopez starts. So yeah, glad to get that win.
Yeah, good win there. All right, let's take a look at the schedule in the association for tonight. We have another tanking team, the Utah Jazz, at the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis 2.5-point favorites, total of 238.5. Would this qualify for an overplay, Mackenzie, or no?
Well, here's the thing: both Memphis and Utah haven't played yet. We said first game after the All-Star break was 58% unders entering Thursday's game. Well, I know that the Magic Kings did for sure, but actually, 7 out of 8 of the first games on Thursday went under.
It was 7-2 to 7 and no, it was 8-2 to the under last night.
Right. So that's going to be better than 58%. It's now over 60%.
Yep.
So I wanted to bet the new system, the bad versus the good, but or the not bad. But wait till game 2 after the All-Star break. I think that the numbers are telling us.
Cavs 5.5-point favorites at the Hornets. Any play there?
I think I like the Cavs. I mean, they have rolled with James Harden. They seem super motivated. And last year, they were the best net rating team in the East by far. I still kind of think they're underrated by the market. And the Hornets, like I thought after the All-Star break, looked like they had their magic voodoo kind of snapped.
Okay, this game is the immediate revenge spot, but also it has to be a gentleman's agreement, right? The Pacers and the Wizards will run it back. Pacers 2-point favorites up on FanDuel right now, total of 231.5. When I jokingly say gentleman's agreement, it's like both of these teams want to lose. So the Wizards, they got the first game here. They won last night. Like now the Pacers are going to win tonight, right? Like that has to be the gentleman's agreement.
It makes a lot of sense. I think both teams are very talented in their tanking ways. Rick Carlisle, he's bulletproof. He could maybe Pacers first half or first quarter. Like they're going to have some. I mean, before they get in halftime and they read the playbook about how they're supposed to lose. They got to have some pride here in the first quarter.
Yeah. The Miami Heat, 3.5-point favorites at the Hawks. Mavericks are at the Timberwolves. Minnesota laying 13 at home. The Bucks are at the Pelicans. New Orleans, a 4.5-point favorite. The Nets visit the Thunder. OKC, 16.5-point favorites. I know there's no SGA, but as bad as this Brooklyn Nets team is, 16.5 doesn't feel like enough in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the things that the rest of the Thunder, the non-SGA Thunder, can do seem to be the perfect kind of muzzle over what the Nets can't do, which is really score outside of Michael Porter Jr. Now that Cam Thomas has moved on. The total opened at BetOnline at 218. Now it's 211.5.
210.5 up on FanDuel right now.
Major, and I don't think it's enough. Maybe this is a Nets team total under.
Okay. Clippers are plus 6.5 against the Lakers. Now it's the second of a back-to-back, so obviously you have to question player availability and whatnot.
Right. Yeah. I don't think Kawhi plays. We'll see.
Yeah, that's something that you always have to factor in, especially after a hard-fought game last night against the Nuggets. And speaking of the Nuggets, they are laying 2.5 at the Portland Trailblazers.
Total is 239 here. I feel like the Nuggets outside of Denver will try to slow it down a little bit. Jokic still working his way back, and the Blazers in that spot first game after the All-Star break. Seems like an underplay.
All right. That'll wrap up the NBA conversation in top 25 men's college basketball. Just 3 teams in action here tonight. Number 18, St. Louis, a 7.5-point home favorite against VCU. Number 7, Purdue, laying 11.5 at home against Indiana. And undefeated, number 22, Miami of Ohio, an 8.5-point favorite at home against Bowling Green. Well, this morning, Mackenzie, it is the semifinals of the men's Olympic ice hockey tournament. Let's get to our thoughts on both of these games.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait, order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
Want to know why betting the winter games on FanDuel makes sense? From game lines to medal counts to finding your angle on the events you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. Curling matches that start slow and somehow get tense fast. Speed skating decided by inches. Hockey games that feel different from the opening face-off, and so much more. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 or over and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and over and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Before we get to the men's semifinal, which who knows by the time you're listening to this pod, the Canada game could be underway or it could be finished, although I'd like to think you guys are early morning listeners. So this game is 10:40 a.m. Eastern time, Canada and Finland in the first semifinal game. What a finish we had to the women's gold medal game. The United States winning in overtime 2-1 over Canada yesterday, as the last 2 days of Olympic hockey, Mackenzie, have really delivered. We had the 3 overtime games in the quarterfinal round, including both the United States and Canada having to win in overtime, and then yesterday's gold medal game. I mean, what a sweat it was.
Yeah.
If you had any skin in the game, we played a live total over, so the Canada was winning 1-0, and we gave out to Better Day Premium members the over 2.5 live, and then recommended that, hey, some books had over 1.5, which was juiced, and I said play that one as well, because there's a chance for an empty netter here, right? If Canada got the empty net, they would take a 2-0 lead, but the over 2.5 was worth a play, because with Canada going on the power play at the end, they could have scored, and then they get the empty net at the end, and they could win 3-0, and then also the opportunity for the U.S. to just score and tie it, which would have guaranteed the over 2.5, and that's exactly what happened. The U.S. pulled the goalie at the end, and Hillary Knight got the game-tying goal to force overtime, and then 3-on-3 overtime, which in the gold medal game, man, it's exciting 3-on-3, but for a gold medal game, they already changed the rules, Mackenzie. Like they already say that in the earlier rounds, right? Like in the quarterfinals, it was 3-on-3 for 10 minutes and then you
Right.
go to a shootout. But in the gold medal game, there's no shootout. It's just 3-on-3 for 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, they'll take like a break, like an intermission. But if you're going to already change the rules for the gold medal game, then let's just keep playing 5-on-5. Don't give me any 3-on-3.
We have to remember they're not maximizing Olympic hockey, men or women's. They're maximizing the Olympic Games, so I guess they have to use the building. It's like an AAU tournament. Like, you guys really need to wrap this up. Yeah, I mean, it's not the same sport. It's a fun sport. I'd watch 3-on-3 hockey if that was an Olympic event, but it's not the same sport. But what a great finish! What a great third period, because it felt like the USA was going to score. That's the best sports scenario. Like something like they have to hit a home run, but they should hit a home run. Like, it's unlikely, but also you're waiting for it. It was great.
Yeah, it's like imagine if I told you we're gonna watch we're watching an NBA game, right? Where you need Steph Curry to hit a three, right?
Yeah.
And all you're doing is you're watching the entire fourth quarter, or you're watching the final 2 minutes of a game where Steph Curry gets the ball every possession, and you're just and he's attempting shots. And it's like sooner or later, he's going to hit a three, right? Like it's like watching the U.S. Like I mean, I know it was a sweat, but like I was fully confident they were tying that game. Like they had so much pressure, and yeah, the Canada goalie was playing great, but they were putting so much pressure on that team. I just felt that they were definitely going to tie the game. It was awesome.
Yep, and great cash, deserved cash. I mean, but you must like the 3-on-3 for the over chance. I mean, like it was over once they started the event.
Well, yeah, I mean, once
The
it's
over
tied
1.5,
once it's tied
or
at
2.5.
1-1, the over 2.5 is guaranteed to hit. So yes, like obviously banking on the U.S. to score, cash the live over 2.5. So that was great, and that was plus money. And if you laid the
You
juice
think
on
they
the
should do
1.5,
it like they used to do in chess, where they withdraw, or they what do they say it? Adjourn and then come back in the morning, like they sometimes do in golf without when the lights are off.
No, but I did actually see a story online yesterday. It's funny you say that. There was like some girls' tournament or whatever in some state in the Northeast, and they actually played like 11 overtimes in like the championship game, the state championship or something, where
It was in hockey.
Yeah, where they literally it was like 3 days the game lasted. So basically they played a bunch of overtimes, then they left, came back the next day, resumed the game, and then did it again and again. Yeah. Crazy story. Yeah, I forgot where that was, but I did see that online yesterday.
The hotel's like, we're actually booked, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Men's semifinal gets underway. As I mentioned, the first game is at 10:40 a.m. Eastern time. That is Canada taking on Finland. And up on FanDuel right now, the total is 5.5, slightly juiced to the under. And the other semifinal at 3:10 Eastern time, the United States against Slovakia, where the total up on FanDuel is 5.5, juiced to the over at -140. Now, the puck line for the United States is 2.5. The puck line for Canada, though, is -1.5 over Finland. And you can get that up on FanDuel right now, -1.5, -142 for the Canadians over Finland. I talked about it yesterday, kind of teasing playing the Slovakia team total under. Like, I'm like, if it's 2.5, like it's an auto fire on the under 2.5. Like, no one scored 3 goals on the U.S. in this tournament. It's at 1.5, Mackenzie. Still, I still like it because I can envision a scenario where Connor Hellebuck doesn't give up any goals, and if anything, only gives up 1. But that's like, you're really threading the needle here. You can only afford to allow 1 goal by playing an under 1.5.
So what's the verdict?
I like it. I mean, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm wondering though, like, are you better playing the -2.5 on the puck line? Like, because the U.S. team total is 4.5. So, like, if you think the U.S. is going to win this game, which I do, and I think Hellebuck's going to be great in net, and I think the U.S. blue line's going to be incredible, like, do I think this is a 3-0 game? Or do I think this is a 4-0 game? Or a 4-1 game? You know, like, I feel like both scenarios play out. Like, the U.S. covers 2.5 and Slovakia goes under 1.5. Like, if Slovakia only scores 1 goal or 0 goals, the odds of the U.S. not scoring 3 is very rare. I mean, I just mentioned their team total is at 4.5, so they should score 3 or 4 goals.
So how should we thread the needle here? Game under, late minus 2.5. Probably go 1-1. Worst chance go 2-0. I mean, worst chance go 1-1. Maybe go 2-0.
It's an incredible
It's a
anti-correlated
hedge.
part.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
obviously you don't parlay them, but
Well-
I feel like you can't really. I mean, I don't see how that goes 0-2. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I guess that you're kind of right. Yeah, you're not going to go 0-2 by playing under 5.5, but then the U.S. minus 2.5. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
And I think you could go a 3-0. It's going to be 3-0. You
I
heard
think
it
so
here first.
too. I think it's a 3-0 victory for the U.S. Now, all right, tell me what you think about this. This is pure feel. There's no stats or trends behind this. Okay, but seeing the U.S. and Canada have to survive in overtime in their quarterfinal games, I have a feeling both of these games are going to be blowouts today. Like, I just have a feeling that that was the scare for both of these teams. That was the opportunity for an underdog to ruin the dream that we all have of watching the U.S. and Canada have that rematch of the Four Nations face-off final and play again here in the gold medal game. And the fact that they both escaped in overtime miraculously, or whatever you want to say, it just feels like both of these games are not going to be a contest, and Canada and the U.S. cruise to victories. They both cover minus 1.5, minus 2.5, whatever it is, and we're waking up here at 5:00 in the morning on Sunday to watch the gold medal game.
Right. It does feel that way because one of two things is true. Either the USA and Canada are not as good as we think, and the rest of the world caught up, or USA and Canada both are looking ahead and they are just as good. And now that they had that scare, are gonna look as good as the best two teams in the nation should. In the world.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think happens here.
It woke them up.
Yeah, I think I might honestly I might play an alternate line on Canada and just do like Canada minus 2.5 instead of minus 1.5. And then
Maybe they're looking at each other's score lines and trying to match each other. Can you parlay minus USA minus 3.5, Canada minus 3.5?
I mean, you could, of course, you could do whatever you want. You know? Canada plays first. Let's see what this pays out, by the way, up on FanDuel, just out of curiosity. If we do alternate puck lines, let's see. What do we have here? Period props, points, game props. There we go. That's where we have to look. Total goals, overtime, correct score. Maybe it's not up yet. Some of these markets do populate like the day of the games. You know, we're recording this like late night, the night before. I'm trying to see first goal score, 60-minute line, all these first period lines up on FanDuel. I mean, my goodness. Yeah. Now we probably have to look elsewhere for an alternate spread, but it's an interesting way to play it. I think I kind of wanted. Oh, here we go. Alternate puck line. Got it. Okay. Let's do Canada minus, you said 3.5?
Let's make it 2.5. Let's get to the window.
Canada
Sprinkle
minus
some on the 3.5, maybe.
Canada minus 2.5, parlayed with the United States minus 2.5. Let's see. A 2-leg parlay up on FanDuel with Canada minus 2.5 and the United States minus 2.5 only pays out plus 223.
What are they thinking? It's correlated? Why doesn't it pay out more?
Now, let's do minus 3.5 for both. How about that?
All right. Let's live dangerously.
Let's live dangerously. A minus 3.5 parlay for both of them. So Canada to win by 4 goals and the United States to win by 4 goals. 10-1 plus 10-10.
It's cashing.
I mean, Canada wins 4-1 or Canada wins 5-1 and the United States wins 4-0.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
You know what else?
10-1. Go to the ticket window right now. Go to your FanDuel app.
Okay, what about this? If we're handicapping if I'm picturing the way that this is going to play out, right? Then why not? Let's do the exact score for the U.S. So the correct score.
Let's look in the crystal ball even deeper.
Yeah. So I'm going to say the United States to win 3-0 is plus 1,700 up on FanDuel. And the United States to win 4-1 is plus 850 up on FanDuel. And the U.S. to win 4-0 is plus 1,800. Which one of those scores do you like the best? You said 3-0. I said 3-0. I feel like that's what we go with, right?
I think 3-0. Yeah. I mean, nothing crazy, just a dominant win.
Little plus 1,700 sprinkle on the plus on the 3-0 plus 1,700 on the 3-0 finish there. All right, that'll wrap up this episode. Coming up later on this weekend, obviously the gold medal game is going to be on Sunday morning at 5:00 here on the West Coast. It is an 8 a.m. Eastern time puck drop, 8:10 a.m. Eastern time, whatever it is, for the gold medal game. Hopefully, it's the United States versus Canada. We'll continue to lock in the free plays all weekend up on BetterDay.com. Good cash with Mackenzie's free play in the NBA yesterday with the San Antonio Spurs. So make sure you check out the website, BetterDay.com, for our daily free plays. Mac's article is still up there on our homepage on how to take advantage of the tanking teams post All-Star break in the NBA. We should have gotten an over yesterday with the Orlando Magic, but only 10 points in the fourth quarter for the Sacramento Kings. That did not help us for that game. Be sure to follow us on social media as well and find out how you can elevate your betting game by becoming a Better Day Insider or Better Day Premium member. Really cool feature that I am working on for Better Day Premium members that I will hopefully have launched by Monday. So that is going to be very exciting stuff there. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.